truth is absolute and undeniable. It requires no persuasion, no codified laws, nor regulations to support its claims, for it remains constant and eternal. There are countless paths to discover the truth, and an infinite spectrum of perceptions through which it can be viewed. Yet, all these perspectives reveal the same core reality, merely seen through different lenses. These lenses function like a kaleidoscope, constantly shifting how the truth is displayed, but the truth itself remains unchanged. If you seek the truth that resonates within you, you will inevitably find it. Mankind has never truly needed a shepherd. A shepherd is only necessary to tend sheep, creatures that, when shepherded, do not reach the heights of their master. Instead, they remain unchanged through generations, with no desire or opportunity to become more than they simply are. Sheep are silent, willing victims, defenseless and resigned to slaughter. Victims they create themselves, bound by unflinching, unquestioning obedience to others whom they blindly trust to keep them safe. Ironically, it's the very institutions among you that claim to serve and elevate humanity that are those demanding sublimation and total servitude, and these are the true shepherds. They have merely replaced the slaughterhouse and butchers of their world with weapons of war and tools of prejudice. These institutions have handed down these implements of death as holy gifts, deployed in holy wars, to tear apart a once unified and powerful people. They persuade the masses with false promises of eternal life for crimes committed in blind obedience, offering paradise while fueling destruction and suffering. They blame the devil for the damage they cause, shields behind which they hide, casting blame outward instead of taking responsibility. Throughout history, these weapons have morphed into more subtle but equally destructive forms. What once were the torch, sword, and rack have evolved into harsh judgments, psychological warfare, and terrorism, applied against entire communities and nations. These acts are often hidden behind false smiles that speak of blessing and salvation, while at the same time sowing suicide, despair, and mental anguish with the same tongue. Through mental and emotional abuse, they crush the individual spirit of entire cultures and peoples. These institutions have succeeded in turning society against itself. They keep those who have willingly become their sheep blind and deaf to the true danger, deeds that hide in plain sight but remain invisible to those who choose willful ignorance over critical thought and inquiry. These are the very places where you seek the divine, in its many forms. The places where you look for the truest love, love that founded all of creation. Yet, these institutions have long known that shepherding humanity as sheep only serves to divide us. Dividing the populace into pens, naming the shepherds of each herd, and segregating them by labels, all this turns the quest for divine love and truth into a petty crusade for egotistical, unholy supremacy and control. Those who run and perpetuate these institutions, along with their laws and practices, are rooted in evil, both the source and the dealer. These wolves in sheep's clothing promise unneeded salvation to beings whose true divine nature they seek to obscure. There is no need for a place of torment or an abode for the damned, no seal below, nor hanging open upon the astral. Creating such a place contradicts the divine love from which all creation is built. No finite crime committed by finite beings, with finite consequences, warrants eternal punishment. As history and psychological sciences reveal, torture only causes trauma and offers no healing. If you observe that love fosters punishment, vindictiveness, jealousy, segregation, racism, sexism, or any form of idealism bounded by conditions, you must recognize that such idealism is inherently limited by its borders. It is not true love, for true love is unconditional and free from constraints. What you have encountered, then, is a counterfeit, a pale imitation that lacks the true power of divine unconditional love. Love must be given for its own sake, freely and purely. When you love unconditionally, you are also loving yourself. Love is a perpetual circle, an endless blessing that fills the self to overflowing, so that it may continually pour out blessings upon the world. Healing yourself through love enables you to project that healing outward, nurturing the world around you. As the saying goes, physician, heal thyself. True healing begins within, and from there flows outward in divine generosity. Unconditional divine true love manifests and reveals itself in the most genuine and profound ways. When expressed clearly, it establishes its fullest and most authentic intentions, reaching deeply into the heart of all beings. It allows the receiver to understand and know it intimately within themselves, ultimately serving the greater good of all creation. This love operates through countless expressions, each one subtle yet unmistakable, an unfathomable array of manifestations that can be perceived in ways that are perplexingly delicate but undeniably true. No matter how it manifests, it always rises above the extremes of both light and dark, positive and negative, life and death. Its purpose is to promote a peaceful balance, an active acceptance and understanding of all things, as they are. Such balance involves love intertwined with nurturing protection, the essential guard that sustains true divine love across eternity and in every possible way. At the core, the balance of all things, when held in peace within each of us, becomes the central aim of our collective evolution. This harmony is reflected within the three microcosms of the divine trinity that exist within every human being: the body, represented by Vav, the mind, embodied by Yod, and the soul, symbolized by He. Together, these aspects mirror the larger cosmic design. This reflection of divine harmony is mirrored in our lives through our thoughts, words, and actions.